Women's Basketball Media Days. Bridget Howard, Jesse Kurtz, taking you along the tour of the Mountain West campuses. Stop 5 here today on day one of Media Days. We head to the United States Air Force Academy and bring in the head coach of the Falcons, Chris Gobrick, in her 7th season as the head coach of Air Force. Chris, I appreciate you joining us. How are things at the Academy?
Things are pretty good. I mean, everything compared to last year, it's pretty darn nice.
Well, that's great.
Things are pretty much back to normal. The only thing that we're dealing with right now is all the construction over in our arena, which is keeping us out of the locker room. And we're looking forward to having that part of things back to normal. But otherwise, having a great time getting this team ready to play.
Well, I've seen that construction firsthand. I could see where it might be a little bit of a nuisance, but if there's anyone built to overcome that adversity, it is your club. What have you seen in practices in the early going that excites you the most about this year's team?
I love this team. I think this team is going to be a ton of fun to watch. They play hard. They play together. There's a lot of great chemistry. We have some good young players. We've got returning players that are definitely better than they were a year ago. We just don't have a whole lot of size. And because we're small, we're going to be flying around the gym. And I think that's what's going to make us fun to watch. And I think it's going to also make us in some ways a lot difficult to play against.
This is just a reminder that if you have a question for Coach Gobrick, to please press the raised hand button to enter the queue. Now, Coach, Riley Snyder, one of the most accomplished players in program history, what steps are you hoping she takes this season to really just blow it out of the water in her last season?
I'm not sure she needs to take a whole lot more steps. I think that she just needs to keep being Riley, and she's just has gotten better in terms of her understanding of the game, and every part of her game has improved every single year. I believe that she really enjoys playing with these players, and they, we've got a great senior class, and that's probably what I'm the most excited about. And the entire senior class has, they have so many great stories to them. We have Audrey Gaddison, who came in, did her ACL in her freshman year, wasn't hardly even in shape her sophomore year, so she hardly even played. Came back her junior year as one of the best conditioned athletes on the team, contributed significantly, and now here she is as a senior. This is probably the most seniors we've had, certainly the most seniors we've had at Air Force since I've been here. And then we have Haley Jones, who opted out last year, missed it, wanted to come back. It's just ready to do whatever she can to play for this team. And then we have Sierra Winters, who's just an incredible story. She walked on at the prep school, and she is one of our team captains this year, and is likely to start at the first tip-off. And then there's these two. I mean, Brianna and Riley have been the backbone of this team for a long time. They've contributed from the day they arrived on campus. They have gotten better. Both of them have gotten better every single year. And I'm just thrilled to see what they're going to be able to accomplish this year. But I just have a lot of faith in this senior class. They've taken on accountability for what we're going to accomplish this year. They understand that we are dealing with some things that nobody else in this conference deals with. The good news about us is that you're going to have to write a new scouting report for us, because we're the only new team in the conference. We're the only team that's going to have a bunch of people you haven't seen before, and not a lot of people you have seen before. We lost 3 starters. Everybody else has their entire starting lineup back, and our three seniors from a year ago had to move on, and rightfully so. Their country was waiting for them, and we don't have tons of transfers that come flooding into the program. So we just are who we are. We take young kids, we try to get better, and then we figure out a way to get it done. And that's the plan. Find a way.
Well, Coach, we've got a question in the queue for you. We're going to go now to Rachel Galligan, the Air Force women's basketball analyst.
Hi, Coach. So happy to see you. Excited to cover you guys again another year. I probably have a few questions. I hope that's okay with everybody.
Go for it, Rachel.
Okay. First thing I wanted to talk about was Brianna Autry Thompson. It's hard to believe that she's a senior. It feels like time just goes so fast. In terms of just her progression throughout her career, from day one to where she is now, what kind of expectations do you have for her in her final year?
I'm just really proud of her. She's come so far. Her freshman year, she was a turnover waiting to happen, and she has gotten just every part of her game has gotten better. And I have so many happy memories of, things that she's done over the course of her career that, you just get so excited when you see that out of a young player. And, I'll never forget the time that Colorado State didn't guard her for an entire game. And we went into and she was, that kind of got to her a little bit. We went into the conference tournament and she hits 2 threes in the opening minutes of the conference tournament. And that just sets the tone, and we beat Colorado State in the conference tournament. And just, there's a lot of memories about that type of improvement, that type of competitiveness that Brianna has. And that's what I enjoy the most about her. And what I see from her this year is just a much more serious approach to understanding how much of an impact she has on her team, and how seriously she has to take her job, her responsibility, her leadership role. And so I think she's going to have her best year ever.
The other person I want to talk about was Kayla Pilsen. No longer a freshman. I think she's got, just kind of some intangibles from a body and athleticism standpoint, things that she can do. How is she looking so far? I mean, in year 2, she gave you some good minutes in a team that was pretty deep last year in retrospect to other years. But what's the outlook on Pilsen for this season?
I love Kayla Pilsen. She's going to be a great player. She's not going to get a chance to compete this season.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I had not heard that. Okay. Injury?
No, she's has to serve a probation
I got you.
time. And, but she's going to be a great player, and she's working her tail off in practice, and she's making us better.
Got it.
And so she's still a huge part of our team in every way.
Okay. And then Riley Snyder, kind of a similar frame. I mean, it's amazing what Riley Snyder could do coming in and putting up bunches of numbers in what's felt like short amounts of time. With the loss of Emil and some of the depth from last year, kind of a similar question with Audrey Thompson. How's Riley looking? What's lying on her shoulders for this year? I love watching her compete. She's such a competitor on the court. What's her mental approach like for this final year?
Well, I think Riley is looking forward to this year because we maybe won't have to rely on her quite as much for scoring.
Sure.
We still need everything she's capable of doing. She's a great passer. She can handle the ball. She plays defense. She's got the defense totally figured out. I mean, she's one of our better defensive players now. And we've always known Riley can score the ball. I mean, the amazing thing about what Riley accomplished last year is she had everybody's best defender, sometimes 2 of everybody's best defenders guarding her, and she still put in those kind of numbers. And I think just the fact that we're going to be able to shoot the ball better than we did a year ago. We have more scoring threats on the floor, both because of the improvement of Dasha McMillan, who can really shoot the ball, and we have some freshmen that are going to help us. I mean, we've got some good freshman players. Just again, we don't have the size, but we have some good young players who can score the ball. Taylor Britt didn't play a year ago because she was injured. She's a very talented player. She's going to be able to contribute. Madison Smith, Lauren McDonald, and Joe Hunnemer. Those are all freshmen that I think are going to play for us. And so just the fact that I think we're going to shoot the ball a little bit better should help Riley out and maybe loosen things up a little bit so she doesn't have to work so freaking hard for every single score. And that was just what kind of, I think, wore her out a little bit last year. Just every time, every single game, she had to work so hard to score the ball, and she still managed to do it. And Bree has improved her outside shooting. She's just improved her overall game. And so we're going to have some more offensive weapons on the floor probably more than we've ever had.
Well, you answered my question about all the freshmen. I won't make you go into super in depth about them, but I guess I do have you're talking about the more offensive weapons and threats. Is this going to be a similar looking Air Force team to what we've seen the last couple of years, just in terms of style of play, or have you made any adjustments?
Well, the style of play never really changes. We want to win games because we work hard, and we pressure you defensively, and it's probably the pressure defense is going to be more important than it's ever been, just because we lost our top 2 rebounders from a year ago. So we know that we've got to create more turnovers. We're going to have to as I tell the team all the time, we cannot play people straight up. We've got to find ways to score. We've got to find ways to make us tough to guard. And so we'll be picking up people and, borrowing a phrase from the old coach at Arkansas, Nolan Richardson. And if anybody remembers, and if anybody's old enough to remember, he always loved to say that he wanted his teams to play 40 minutes of, we'll say heck, since 40 minutes of heck. So that's what we're after. We want to play 40 minutes of heck.
That's all I have, Coach. Wishing you the best of luck this year. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Rachel.
Coach, I'm old enough to remember that. That was a fun team to watch. Nolan Richardson's Arkansas team. I do want to talk to you about a couple of your freshmen. Madison Smith and Lauren Mcdonough both had decorated high school careers, from a team standpoint, individual standpoint. Being the freshman here at the academy, what it is, it can be tough. How do freshmen that see the court in your program at Air Force, what is the makeup of them that allows them to see success? Because they are dealing with so much. Those two were very decorated high school players. Can they fit that mold?
They will help us. Will they help us as much as they're likely to help us as sophomores? No, probably not, but they will help us. There's no question it's very tough to be a freshman. And I love to tell the story about Coach Calhoun coming into my office when I first came on board here. And one of the first things he told me was, don't count on freshmen. And just because of the nature of how much is on their plate here at the academy, we have had to count on freshmen. It's part of building a program literally from scratch, which is where we started. We started from ground zero. And I've even said, I'm not even sure we started at ground zero. We might've started a little bit underground. And so we had to play freshmen. We had to play the young kids right off the bat. The nice thing is they ended up having a ton of experience, like the number of games that Bree and Riley have under their belts, considerable. So there is some advantage to that, but at the same time, you have to live with the growing pains, but those guys will play and they'll help us.
You mentioned Riley. I mean, she could finish third most in starts at the Air Force Academy. And you mentioned building this program from lower than ground zero. You had such incredible success in your career at many programs, Yale, Washington, Fullerton. Now in your 7th season at Air Force, what's the most gratifying part about building this program with the type of players and the type of young women that you have the opportunity to coach?
I just feel incredibly privileged to be able to coach them, just to be a part of their life and to potentially help them be better leaders for the Air Force, for our country. I have tremendous affinity for the academy. My son is a graduate. I believe in the mission. I believe in the people that are here. And I can't even think of a day that I've been here, that I've been coaching here, that I haven't looked forward to going out there on the court and seeing the people that are out there. Not all of them have always been great basketball players, but they've always been great people. And it's been just, a tremendous honor to be associated with them. But I want them to experience how much fun it is to win. They deserve it. We love competing, and I think they enjoy knowing they're competing, knowing they got a shot at winning. But I want them to just have that great fun of that great, just that how good you feel when you win as often as possible. So that's what we're going to try to do.
Well, Coach, we're excited to watch you guys get to it on the court this season, get some wins under your belt. And again, we appreciate you taking the time to join us today.
You bet. Thank you. Looking forward.
Thanks, Coach.
Jesse, this Air Force team, Coach said it, they've got some new pieces, and she really thinks that this offense is going to be able to be the key for them this season.
Well, when you got leaders and senior leaders, and senior leaders go a long way at the Air Force Academy. They've been through it. They can help bring along those younger players. And when you've got a Riley Snyder, a girl from Colorado, from Fruita, Colorado, and Brianna, Autry, Thompson, those two that have been through the fire, so to speak. They've been a part of this building process with Chris Gobrecht taking the lead. When you have those sort of cornerstones, you can reach those marks that they want to reach. And we saw them in the Mountain West tournament knocking off San Diego State. And you talk about being fun to win. When you go to a neutral site and it's a one and done and you win, we saw how excited Chris Gobrecht and the players were. And we're excited to see them, and we're excited to get a chance now to talk to Riley Snyder and Brianna Autry Thompson, who are kind enough to join us from the Air Force Academy. Ladies, I appreciate you taking some time for us. Let's start with you, Riley. You've been around this program for a long time. You've reached some success. You're going to leave your mark as one of the more decorated players and accomplished players in program history. What does that mean to you to have put your stamp and continue to put your stamp on this program?
Yeah, well, thank you guys for having us. I definitely chose to come to this program because it was so young, and I believed in the mission that Coach G and her coaching staff had and the girls that were there. And I knew it was going to be a building process, and it might not have been the easiest or the most fun, but it's been so rewarding. And I've been growing with this senior class with Bree and the other seniors. And it's just been awesome to see what we can accomplish over these past 3 years. And now our final year, I think this is definitely going to be our best year. And I mean, the personal accolades, like that doesn't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things. I had these memories of playing out there with my teammates and my friends and my coaches and these people that believe in me and believe in what we're doing out there. So that's definitely what means the most to us out there.
Brianna, Coach talked about the strides that you've made in your career. And as you come into your senior year this year, you've started all 3 years of your career, but what steps have you taken this offseason to really just kick it into gear this year?
Yeah, again, like she said, thank you for having us. I think for me, the biggest thing was, being a leader for my teammates. Like we've all said, we're a senior class now, so it's really important that we are able to lead the younger ones and really teach them our ways of doing things, because they are a little bit different than maybe what they've learned in high school or where they've heard about somewhere else. But for me personally, the biggest thing that I've been working on was, of course, shooting. So I've been trying to get in the gym with whatever coach is available, really just trying to, shoot and improve my game in that way. I give a big shout out to Coach Camille, our newest coach. She's, always had me in the gym, always available for me. And even in practice, she just pushed me to, look for the open shots. And really just helping me all around.
Well, ladies, we've got a question in the queue for you from Rachel Galligan, the Air Force women's basketball analyst.
Hi, ladies. So good to see you today. It seems crazy we're sitting here and you guys are entering your senior year. I feel like you're still freshmen. It's been a joy to watch you guys evolve and grow, and I'm super excited to cover you one more year. I want to ask you both kind of your approach on this team. This is your team. It lies on your shoulders right now. What has been the off-season approach, and what has been the approach really in preseason and as you've started this practice, these practices to take this team to that next level? Coach talked about the depth this team has, particularly the offensive depth, but what have you guys been working on specifically in practice as leaders of this team?
Honestly, we've had to get better every single practice, every single one of us, from starters to next man up. We've all had to get better, work on things that we're not especially great at, because like Coach said, we want to play 40 minutes tough. And that means that we're going to have to play a lot of kids, and you never know what who's going to be up next. So definitely that. And I would say we've just been competing in practice. Like you can feel the energy is a lot different. Like this is our last year. Like we don't get another year after this. We go on with our lives and we get to serve, which is amazing, but our basketball career comes to an end. So this is our last hurrah and we're going to make the best of it.
Yeah, I think along with that, we're just taking things a lot more seriously. This whole preseason, we haven't, been messing around. We're taking every practice, every moment we have, every pickup game, like we're trying to make it, realistic so that when we do get out there and get into the game situations, we're ready for it. We've changed up a little bit just so that we're playing a little bit more basketball in the preseason so we can, build that chemistry, get our bonds going so that we're not just waiting until December, January to just get things going. So again, like I said, just taking things seriously. And again, like Riley said too, just bringing the energy every day. It's hard to have a good practice when nobody wants to be there, nobody has energy. So we're just reminding each other every day, hey, bring the energy, do what you can. If you're having a rough day, let's talk about it before practice, after practice, but during practice, you need to be locked in.
And another one, I watch a ton of basketball. I get to watch, thankfully, a lot of basketball across the country, a lot of different levels. But I tell everyone I talk to, I said, Air Force women's basketball team is one of the greatest programs I get a chance to cover. And it's the toughness factor, the diving on the floor after loose balls, the rebounding, even though you guys might not necessarily be the biggest or have that inside presence, especially this year, there's a toughness factor. And how is that instilled in you day in and day out in practice? What sort of drills are you guys doing? Is that just a culture thing at this point?
I think at this point it is a culture thing, but it also has a little bit to do with the academy. As far as like rebounding, I feel like that's a mental thing. And one of the things we work on all the time around the academy is mental toughness. So when it comes to rebounding drills, especially, if we're competing in those rebounding drills, we love it. We have a great time in the rebounding drills. Anything we do, we just go out and we just have the same mental toughness as the last drill. Each drill just getting more and more competitive and each one getting better.
Yeah, we know we're not going to be the biggest at all times. We're not going to be the strongest, the quickest, the fastest, but we're going to outwork you and we're going to be tougher than you. And like Bree said, that's definitely something from the academy. You got to be a tough kid to come here and get through 4 years because that's what our nation's going to require of us is to be tough. So definitely an academy thing. And I think Coach Gobrecht has done a great job instilling that as culture in our program from the first day we've gotten here as freshmen. It's been required of you. If you're not going to be tough, you're not going to see the floor. So that's definitely a big thing that has become the culture of this program, and it's really important to us winning games and being successful.
Last one I got for you guys before I'm done picking your brains, but the 2 biggest goals for both of you personally and for a team this year.
I just want to win. Whatever I have to do in order for us to win, whether I need to step up as a leader, be more, consistent, be on the boards, whatever I have to do in order for us to win, that's what I'm willing to do.
Yeah, we definitely, we sat down before we even got into practice this year and we said we wanted to be top 5. And as you saw, the preseason rankings came out and we were talking before this and we weren't very happy about that. So we're here to change that. We're here to show some people that we want to be top 5 and we're going to put in the work that it takes to get there. So yeah. And then Bree said, personally, it's just, you got to do whatever our team needs of us, whatever our coaches need of us to make us successful and help us to win this year is we're going to give it all.
Awesome. Thank you guys both so much. I'll see you in a few weeks.
Riley and Brianna, you guys have experienced what it's like to be a freshman at the Air Force Academy. You've got a handful of freshmen this year, and with your leadership in being seniors, how have you kind of helped usher these freshmen into their first year at the Air Force Academy?
I think we, just tried to take them under our wing and, told them the things that worked for us so they can try to follow in those footsteps, and then also talked about the things that didn't work for us so that they don't, go through the same failures that we did. And I think overall they're really, paying attention. I think they have a good grasp of everything that's going on. And I think they'll be ready and they'll be ready to help us.
Yeah, we definitely have some really talented freshmen, and being a freshman at the academy is tough. You have school and the military aspect. And then you got to leave all that stuff up there and come down to practice and be totally dialed in. And that's tough if it's your first year. But they're such a great class and they've already done so great. So yeah, it's just helping them out with whatever they need and just being there for them.
Last question for you, ladies, and Coach Gobrick spoke on this. She believes in the academy mission and everything that it stands for. Had a son go through the academy. What does it mean to have her as a head coach who there is not only complete buy-in, but personal experience in what you all go through, your goals, and the buy-in that she has into you guys as people?
I'm very appreciative to have an entire coaching staff that, understands what we go through. It'll be hard to, come down and they don't understand, hey, we just had to wake up at 6:30 for a morning formation, had to do military drills after class, all these other things that we have to do for the academy. And then just come down there and she has no idea what we've been through. And I think they do a good job of working around that and really understanding.
Yeah, they definitely, like the coaches have came to our swim class and our combatives class, and they really try to put themselves in our shoes. And that really means a lot because we do go through a lot here and we do have a lot on our plate. So it does mean a lot that they're willing to come and see what we do as cadets and stuff like that. So that's really important. We have a great coaching staff and we got a new coach. Coach Camille's amazing. So yeah, we're very appreciative to play in a program where they care about us more than just basketball players. Like we're not just a number to them. We're actually people and they care because we're going to be representing this nation and protecting it and serving. So that means a lot to us.
All right, well, ladies, we appreciate you taking the time for us today and good luck this season.
Thank you.
Thank you.